My brother-in-law on my father's side had a first cousin whose maternal uncle had a father-in-law whose paternal grandfather had taken an aborigine as his second wife, a young woman whose brother he met on his travels, a girl he was mad about, with whom he had a son who married a fearless female pharmacist who was none other than the niece of an unknown fourth-class petty officer in the Royal Navy, whose adoptive father had an aunt who spoke fluent Spanish, who may have been one of the granddaughters of an electrical engineer who died young, who was himself the owner of a vineyard which produced second-rate wine, but who had a second cousin, an agoraphobic, a sergeant major, whose son had married a bombshell, a divorcee whose first husband was the son of a loyal patriot who, eager to strike it rich, had raised one of his daughters to marry a big game hunter who knew Rothschild, whose brother, after flitting about from one job to another, married and had a daughter whose great-grandfather, a midget, wore spectacles that were given to him by one of his cousins, a Portuguese, if you please, the natural son of a pastry chef who was pretty well off, whose foster brother had married a former country doctor who was himself the foster brother of the son of a dairy farmer who happened to be the natural-born son of another country doctor married 3 times in a row, whose third wife was the daughter of the best midwife in the area, widowed before her time, who remarried a glassblower with get-up-and-go, who had a daughter with the child of a station master, who tripped like fantastic, turned to feats gymnastic, then took his vows monastic, having married a greengrocer whose brother, mayor of a small village, was married to a blonde nursery school teacher, whose cousin, a fly fisherman, was married to a blonde nursery school teacher as well, also named Marie, whose brother was married to a Marie as well, who also happened to be a blonde nursery school teacher, whose father was raised in Canada by an old woman who was the niece of a priest whose grandmother, like everyone else in the winter, sometimes caught a cold.